Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, you're absolutely welcome. My name is Fummeee, and on this channel we create lifestyle and baking content. So I recently went on a tour around Europe, and so today's video I'm going to be answering the questions that you guys asked in some of the comment sections below. I'm going to do another video which I'm going to talk about other aspects of my trip. So if there's any other thing that you feel I'm missing, please leave it in the comment section below. The video is basically a Q&A to answer all the questions you people asked, and also you guys, I have children singing close to me, so just pardon it. So anyways, so I'm going to be answering that question today, and I'm also going to be doing a roundup of the total amount of money I spent on my European tour. So if that's something you like, let's get into the video of the day. So first things first, I want to say a very big thank you to all of you guys. While I was away on my trip, you guys were watching my video, commenting. We have one video that is almost going viral. Like, I am so super grateful. And so let us get into the Q&A. So first things first, I have a neighbor that has a dog. This dog doesn't bark when I'm not shooting videos. Once I press the record button, you will hear the dog barking. So just in case you pick up on the sound from the dog, I am sorry, please have mercy. So let's get into the questions. So question number one is so happy seeing you go out of your comfort zone and going on this Europe tour. I just want to say kudos to your husband and kids for the massive support, because without that, you won't be able to do this. It's been a while I've seen your parents in you or Sisi's videos. Have they relocated out of the country? My love to you all and wish you the best of everything. Okay, so it's been a while we have seen my parents on this video, but you guys have been seeing my grandma. Like, my grandma has been holding it down. You guys should not make her feel bad. But my parents traveled. They are currently not in town. The next time they're in town, I'll be sure to include them in a video if they're interested. How long did the tour last overall? What was your itinerary? Thank you again for making us see the world through your lens. Thank you. Okay, so the tour lasted about a week plus, so almost 2 weeks. That's how long my tour was. Love your content so much. What was my itinerary? My itinerary was just to visit certain places, take nice pictures, go for a baking class, go for a dessert making class. What else? Just basically sightseeing. So it's like plus or minus, just having fun, eating food, taking pictures, shooting travel content, and then going for a dessert class. That's all the itinerary that it was for the travel. Basically, it was just like a time away, time to relax. Living in this country, first of all, you guys know, it's draining, it's stressful. See this dog now. This dog, the last time I was trying to shoot a video, this dog barked from when I was trying to shoot. As soon as I sat down, the dog stopped barking. So there's so many stress around in this country that once in a while I feel and you need to find something that just relaxes you and just makes you happy, because if you continue on with this country the way the country they be, it's going to be so stressful. So that's all the itinerary that it was. Love your content so much. Just wanted to know, did you feel lonely at times on this trip, being you traveled alone? At the beginning of the trip, I did feel lonely, like I felt lost. That's the word, because I'm coming from I've not been alone for the past, I've been married for 10 years. So let's say for 11 years, I've not been alone. I've always had either my husband, my sister. Even in hostels, I had friends. So it was me and my friends in the hostel. NYC, I did NYC while I was pregnant, so that doesn't even count. So I've never had the time to be alone where it was just me. I didn't know anybody. There was no auntie, cousin, sister. There was nobody around. So this was the first time that I had experienced it, and it was exhilarating. Like, it was amazing. I've never felt like that in my whole life. Like, I feel like when people take vacations to say, oh, they're going to pray, they want to hear from God, they want to get closer. I understood. Like, I've never understood it, but this time I actually understood it. Like, I like quietness. I actually enjoy quietness. Once in a while, yes, I would like to get like a little noise, but I did enjoy. For the first couple of days, it was hard for me to adjust to being alone. because I felt like alone, like lonely. But after some time, like after like a day or two, I quickly adjusted because I was having a good time. If you see, like during the Valencia trip was when I actually really like dipped and really felt lonely and really sad, like, oh my god, I'm alone. Like I really felt lonely during the Valencia trip. But as soon as I got off Valencia and into Paris, I'm like, what? So yeah, I was lonely at some point, but I eventually just got over it and moved on. What have been your main takeaways since you've been away from Nigeria? As in, what do you now see differently? What have you learned, etc.? What I've learned is that everywhere is not mad. Every country is not like Nigeria. Nigeria is stressful to live in. Nigeria is stressful to work in. Everything in Nigeria is made to stress you. That's one thing that I've really learned, and my English have not changed, even though a lot of people expected me to come back with an accent. I remember when we were in school then, when your classmates go for summer and come back, the English accent changes. But my English did not change, so I don't know. My takeaway is the fact that a lot of madness that we have to go through, those things are not normal, yet we're made to go through them by people that know better. Because it's not like they should know better, they actually know better, because some of the people that are breaking the laws and doing things around the country, they travel more often than we do. So next question, going to different countries and seeing how those countries work, would you say you might or will consider relocating abroad with your family? Yes, maybe not to the UK, because I don't really like the UK like that. I don't really like the lifestyle in the UK like that. It's very quiet. But yes, it's previously I was like previously I was how many percent? Previously, let's say if we're talking about relocation, I was maybe 40% I was maybe 30% relocation, 70% not really caring. I'm like 50-50 at this point, because now I actually see the effects. I see what he does. I see the upside of relocating. I see the downside of relocating as well. So I would actually consider it, but in the end, it's not just about me relocating. It's like my family. I'm not like a single girl that I can be like, oh, I'm relocating. Do you understand? I have husband, I have kids, so I have to weigh all those options as well. But if it was left to me, I would not come back. Then Virtue Auto, how long have you been away from home in Nigeria? About a month plus. How were you able to settle your children when you were away? Did you get help? So yes, I didn't used to have help, but not recently, she has been with me for like 5 months now. So I got a nanny, like an older nanny. She's older than me, way older than me. She's done having children, so she's more mature. So I have someone that stays with me full time. I have their dad coming, their grandma was coming to just check to be sure that things were running well, the children were fine. Because sometimes the daddies don't really notice like the eyes changing or those kind of things. So how did your husband feel when you told him you were going away for long? Obviously, he wasn't happy with it, but if you're in a relationship where you both want what is best for the other person, you know that, okay, traveling will be good for my channel. So I guess he saw it from that side, and so that's why it was a little bit easier for me to do it, but he wasn't like with it at the beginning. I love your videos. Love from Asaba. Thank you so much. Can you please tell us how much the trip cost? I would love to know what I need to budget for such a trip. I think I'll do that at the ending. I finally did like a breakdown. I'll do it at the end of this video. I was wondering, how were you able to eat different foods in different countries you visited? Love from Kogi State. I wasn't able to eat different foods. If you notice, I was eating in specific restaurants like Burger King, McDonald's, Popeyes, and what else? And just those kind of things. I was eating what I know, because you guys, if you know, I'm a very picky eater. I don't eat anything. I don't eat a lot of vegetables. I don't eat onions if I see the onions. So it was a little bit hard for me to adjust to just eating everything I see, especially because they look nice. So that's why I wasn't going to like a lot of restaurants. I was going to places where I could actually eat their food. I was looking for pepper. I was looking for amala, but what are we gonna do? But anyways, that's how I was able to adjust. So I was eating a lot of pastries. I do like pastries, so I was eating a lot of pastries, a lot of pizza, just kind of things. I eat those kind of things on a normal day and I like them. So that's how I was able to manage with like food. I don't have a question. All I want to say is that you are my role model and an amazing person. Thank you so much. Like, that means a lot. Thank you. How long did it take you to save and plan for the tour? It took me about a year. I wasn't like actively saving towards it, but like, let's just say a year with it took me about a year because I was saving, but I wasn't saving for this trip. I was honestly saving for my laptop, right? I was saving for my laptop, and then I spoke to my friend Louis from Black Voices. I can't pronounce his surname, but I spoke to my friend Louis and I told him how much I had, and he was like, I just got a deal, sis. Do you want to buy your laptop? I was like, I better go. So that's how I got my laptop. So I got my laptop from Lagos. Louis helped me buy my laptop. I know Louis from YouTube. I will leave his channel tag below. So he helped me get my laptop. And after getting my laptop, I saw that I had some change. Do you understand? Because it seemed I had oversaved for the laptop. So I was then able to actually consider the trip. At first, I wasn't really considering it because I knew I wanted to get my laptop. Like, my laptop to me was more important than traveling. So after getting my laptop, I knew, okay, I had some change that I could play around with. So that's when I then looked into getting the visa, spoke to Fondant Consulting. They told me how much I would need roughly, and I saw that, okay, I could afford this. So from the first day of me planning my trip, which is from when I decided to just apply for the visa to when I traveled, was about 6 months. I applied for my visa when I went for Tani. That's my sister's daughter's first birthday. That's when I was like, you know what, I'll be in Lagos. Let me just try it and apply for it. So I applied for it and I got it. So how did you cope going to and fro? Like, it's amazing seeing my role model fulfill her dreams. I would like to be like you one day. I keep praying for you. Oh, thank you. Like, that's the best thing you can give me. Please just pray for me, you guys. I'm going through a lot. Please do introduce your family members, including CCME. Thank you. How did I cope going through to and fro? It was hard, because I'd never taken the train in my life. I'd never traveled alone. Like, the first time I traveled to Dubai, I went with my husband. So like, I've not been alone in a long time. Maybe the last time I was alone was maybe when I first got into uni, but then I knew people in the uni. So it wasn't like I was alone in uni. Do you understand? Like, I had family friends that would come and check up on you. So this was the first time in my whole life that I was actually alone and just winging it. So that's why I was so grateful that like I was meeting people that were helping me out in airports and meeting angels, because I was just like, God, please, like, God, I beg you, like, let me not get lost. I was really scared. I remember when I told Sissy I wanted to travel, she was like, alone to Europe. Oh my God. So that's when she told me more about certain insecurities I had not considered. So then I started researching how to be safe. I'm going to do a video about how to travel safe alone for a Black woman. I will do a video on that because I feel like it's very important. But then I started researching, finding out ways to be safe, ways to just make sure that everything goes together properly, and this whole trip that I was so excited about doesn't turn into something else that we are not expecting. So how easy is it that you just bring out your camera and film? Did you ask for permission? So it was so easy to film abroad. When I first arrived, I was scared to use my camera because I'm used to Nigeria where they're fighting you every time. If you bring out your camera, somebody's attacking you, somebody's harassing you, like, why they film me? Why they record me? Do you understand? I found that abroad, wherever you bring out your camera, if they want to be in your video, they will smile and say hi and walk past. If they don't want to be in your video, they will tell you no, and then I will not film them. I found people especially didn't want to be filmed in Paris, in like shops that I went to, so I didn't film them. So most of the film videos I have of people, if the people said they didn't want to be in the video, I ended up cutting them out. That's why most of the video was just me, because a lot of people didn't know me, so they really didn't want to be in the videos. But I found it so, like, that's the easiest I've ever been able to film. You can film on the train station, just carry your big camera and be like filming everything happening. Nobody's going to harass you, nobody's going to say anything. So that was like a plus for me. The only thing that I was scared of using was my drone, but then I'd gotten the small drone, but I was still scared because I've heard that certain places drones weren't allowed. So when I would turn on my drone, if I saw that it was close to the airport, and you guys, most of my hotels were like walking distance from the airport, so it was really hard for me to film. The only hotel that was far from the airport was Pisa. So from Pisa, I was able to just like film everything I wanted to film and film my hotel and all of that. But every other country was hard for me to do that. Next question is, how do you navigate around on your own, moving from place to place, boarding trains, taxis, even walking around on your own without getting lost? Good question. So the way I was able to navigate all of that was Google Maps. So I had Google Maps on my phone. On my iPhone, I had the maps, but I don't really advise if you're traveling to use the iPhone map because it's not very nice. But the Google Map had details, so it had like the nearest food, the most popular restaurants, the most popular this. It had like reviews on your hotel, if it was 5-star, 2-star, 1-star, those kind of things. So that Google Maps made it very easy for me to just navigate around. And Google Maps also helps with I think like I'll do like a little tutorial on how to navigate Google Maps, but it shows you like directions. Okay, if you're going here to here, it's 5 minutes if you use the bus, 10 minutes if you use the train, all those kind of things. So that's how I was able to navigate easily around the place while I was traveling, and to get like, okay, use the bus, come down here, use the bus, come down here, use the train. So that's how I was able to do it. What was the visa requirement? I've done a video about that. Please check it out. It's the video that the name of the video is Stop Waiting for Your Life to Happen. It has like all the visa details and all of that. Do you plan to take your kids on another trip? Yes, that would be like my dream, is to travel to Paris, especially with my kids, with my daughters, because they love Paris from what they have seen. So I would love to take them to Paris. What other countries would you like to visit? I would love to go to New York. Like if I get to America, if I don't go New York, problem fide. So I would love to go to New York in America. I would love to go to Namibia. I would love to see Egypt. Yeah, Egypt is somewhere else. Then I would love to go to Paris with my kids. So those are the places I would love to visit. Mindful also with your bags and purses. I know what I'm saying. So while I was traveling, bags and purses were right in front. Like I always carried my backpack wherever I was going, unless the hotel had a safe. When I went to Valencia didn't had a safe. So most of the rooms, all the rooms I went to had a safe. So my laptop was always in my safe. How else? My bag, I didn't go around with a lot of like luggage. I only went around with one bag, one purse, and everything was inside that purse. And then my camera was always on my neck. So I didn't go around with a lot of things to prevent things getting stolen. I remember when I got to Spain, the person at the train attendant was like, "Sis, please be careful with your bags. Do you have a laptop?" I was like, "Yes." He was like, "Carry your laptop bag in front of you, because to prevent people from opening it from behind, taking your laptop and running." So yeah, guys, so that's the end of our Q&A. Let's go into the travel expense. So I traveled from Edinburgh to Pisa, and my flight was about £60 because I was traveling like within Europe. My hotel in Pisa for the nights that I stayed was €15. The Tower of Pisa, Palazzo Blue, just tourist activities, I spent about €35. Basically for food in Pisa, I spent about €50. And then for every time I had like a gelato was like €1 depending on where I bought it. So it was either €1, €2. I got gelato in one place for like €5. That was like the most expensive gelato I got, and that was in Cairns. So that's why it was so expensive. But every other gelato and food I got, food was fairly inexpensive in Pisa. It wasn't as expensive. I had the cheese balls, and the cheesy balls where you had like margarita balls is what they call them. So it's like puff with margarita inside. I think it was €5 for that. So that's all I spent. So for food I spent about €50. For water altogether on my trip I spent about €12 because I was buying those big bottles of water, and one of them was about €3. So that's what I was drinking For transportation in Pisa, which is like the train, the buses that I used, the taxi I used to go to the airport, altogether I spent 50 euros. So the taxi to take me to the airport was the most money I spent on transportation. I think it was about 20 euros just for that cab. So that was the only time I used cab. Because my flight was early in the morning, I needed to get a taxi. There was no train because my flight was I got to the airport by 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. It was a hotel that called the airport taxi for me, and it cost 20 euros. So that's what's altogether for transportation in Pisa. The flight from Edinburgh to Pisa, I used Ryanair. So the flight from Pisa to Valencia, I think I used Ryanair or EasyJet. I'll check, I'm not so sure, but I will leave it linked below. And I spent 61 euros. The hotel in Valencia, I spent 83 euros. The transportation in Valencia was fairly cheap. So I got the Valencia travel card. It cost me about 15 euros to buy the card. So that card covered bus, train, trams. So every way that you move around the city, that's what it covers. And then you get a little discount on sites. But I didn't visit a lot of sites because I only had, I think, 1 or 2 days in Valencia. So I didn't have like a lot of time to do a lot of things in Valencia. And then the money that I really spent on transportation in Valencia, that was a lot, was also the taxi, because I booked all the flights I booked were like early in the morning, first flights, which are fairly cheaper than booking like afternoon flights. So most of my flights were either 8 a.m., 7 a.m., 6 a.m., 4 a.m. I had to be at the airport. So the airport taxi that took me from the hotel to the airport in Valencia was about 20 euros as well. So feeding in Valencia, I went to Popeyes, I went to a few places, and so I spent about 20 euros eating in Valencia. Then in Paris is where I spent the most money, because Paris was where like that was, everything was leading to Paris, you get. So from Valencia to Paris, I used Air France. I will leave the price below because I can't find it right now. So I will leave the price below. I can't remember. Hotel, I spent 331 euros. I will list also the name of the hotels that I stay in below so that you guys can check them out. They're very safe, especially for solo travelers. So I spent 331 euros on my hotel. Transportation in Paris, so that includes taxis and trains, and trains and buses. So I spent about 50 euros on transportation in Paris. Croissants in Paris, I spent about 20 euros as well, because I'm classifying croissants apart from meals. So croissants in Paris, one croissant in a nice bakery was about €1.50, €2. So I ate a lot of croissants. Like I was eating croissants morning, afternoon, evening. So I ate a lot of croissants. I spent about 20 euros. For pastries, which is like the cheesecakes and stuff I was sampling in different restaurants, I spent about 25 euros. And then for sites, for my cruise, the cruise that I had in Paris, which the Sienna cruise I had in Paris, I spent £13 on the Sienna cruise. Photo shoot, did 2 photo shoots in Paris, one at the Eiffel Tower and one at the Louvre. The pictures at the Louvre cost 45 euros. It was very expensive. I will let you guys see the pictures. Let me know if it was worth that money. And then the photo shoot at the Eiffel Tower, I spent 28 euros. I will also post the pictures so that you guys can see it. Paris to Nice, I spent on flight 89 euros. For the hotel, because this place was nice, it was about 350 euros, but I was supposed to be sharing it with my sister. So feeding in Nice, I spent about 50 euros. Nice was fairly expensive because Nice is right by Cannes, which is where they have the Cannes Film Festival, and it was the period of that festival, so it was bubbling. Things were fairly expensive, but I spent about 20 euros eating around. Gelatos, snacks, croissants and co. I spent about 23 euros on those. And transportation as well, I spent about 40 euros for the bus. So the bus that took me from Nice to Monaco, and then those other smaller buses, everything was total to that price. And then from there, it was from Nice to Edinburgh. So the flight from Nice to Edinburgh was £110 was my flight from Nice back to Edinburgh, bearing in mind that it was a little bit cheaper because I wasn't traveling like continent, so I was traveling within Europe. So I was traveling from the UK to those countries. If I was traveling from Nigeria to, let's say, Paris, it would definitely cost way more than that. It's cheaper for you to travel to the UK, and then from the UK go to all these countries, as opposed to just going from Nigeria to all these countries. Is way more expensive. So that is the total that I spent on my tour, and I had the most amazing time of my life. On shopping, I cannot count how much I spent, and I was able to at least stay within that budget. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.